This particular seminar, this particular webinar, I love to do for the UG students. The reason being, because I have been in teaching for the last 22, 23 years, since 1997, especially in management education. And I have come across so many students who are moving for higher education after completing their UG program. And what is the criteria they do follow? Sometimes it is so alarming to me, because without any criteria, without any basic groundwork, some of the students, they jump into their higher education. So that is the reason I am very keen on addressing this particular issue to the UG students who are likely to go for their higher education. Okay. So this is the premise with which let me start my presentation. The presentation is a very, very simple presentation. And again, it's more pertinent to the final year as well as the pre-final year UG students who are willing to go for higher education. You can get some clarity by the end of the presentation. And of course, we can have some time by the end of the presentation for question and answer session 2. So probably some of the faculty members can coordinate the question and answer session so that I can clarify all your doubts without any ambiguity. Even if I'm not able to clarify your doubts at this juncture, I leave my email ID as well as my mobile number to you at the end of the presentation. You can feel free to get in touch with me for any clarifications with reference to your career, with reference to your higher education. So this is the premise with which let me start my presentation. I once again thank the management of Sri Shakti Institution as well as Mr. Tajuddin and my good friend Mr. Ranish for having given me this opportunity. Is my presentation visible, Mr. Ranish?
Yeah.
Right, sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Yeah. So I have named it as management education. And of course, as Tajuddin sir pointed out, I am heading a standalone business school called DJ Academy for Managerial Excellence, Coimbatore. It is at a place called Ottakal Mandapam on the way to Pollachi, hardly 15 kilometers away from Coimbatore town. And this is a standalone business school. Standalone in the sense that we do have only one MBA program, no other programs, only MBA program. That's why we call it as a standalone business school. And it is promoted by LMW Group. LMW, you might be aware of, Lakshmi Machine Works. They are into textile machinery manufacturing. Of course, as far as the domestic market is concerned, they are the market leader and they have their own presence in exports too. So it's a perfect example of a business school which is completely supported and managed by a big business conglomerate like LMW. Okay. And we started our MBA program in 2001 and we are stepping into our 20th year in the year 2020. With this, let me get into the discussion points. So these are all the points we are going to discuss. Why you need to do MBA after your engineering program? That is question number 1, because you must be having so many questions in your mind. I'm trying to address all the questions one by one. So why MBA after engineering? The second one, when is the right time to join MBA program? Should I join immediately after completing my engineering program? Or should I take some time? Should I work for some time and then join an MBA program? What are the advantages? What are the disadvantages in it? That's point. Point number 3, where to join? There are a number of business schools available in the country and each one is claiming they are the number 1, they are the number 2 kind of. So what kind of criteria I should be following while selecting a particular business school? So that I'll be addressing in my 4th point too. So what I should look for while selecting a particular business school and how to prepare for to enter into a business school, how should I prepare myself? And then probably last 10 to 15 minutes, we can open for any questions which you get with the reference to management education. Okay. Let us go to point number one, question number one. Why should I do MBA after my engineering program? Of course, as I told you, this is my 23rd year in management education. And fortunately, my earlier institutions are all integrated campus in the sense we had MBA program, MCA program, as well as engineering programs too. So I have a fair knowledge of what is expected out of a student. I can call it as a student. What is expected out of a student when he enters the industry? Okay. So going by my own experience, engineering plus MBA is considered to be the most sought after combination by the industry. Okay. And it has become a trend also nowadays. There is a reason behind. While you are doing your engineering program, you acquire all the technical skills, all the technical knowledge. But this technical knowledge alone will not be enough for you to go up in the corporate ladder. So naturally, you need to have or you need to possess some managerial skills so that you can easily come up in the ladder in the corporate world. Okay, and that is why this particular combination, any engineering degree followed by an MBA program, is considered to be the most sought after program by the industry. Number two, if you look at those who are clearing CAT examination, CAT stands for Common Admission Test. Indian Institute of Management in India, there are 20 IIMs in India. So all the IIMs, they do have CAT as a selection criteria. You need to clear CAT. You need to be excellent in terms of your CAT score so that you will be taken to the next step in the screening process. So if you look at those who are doing their MBA in leading institutions like IIMs and all, most of the toppers are from IITs and other NITs as well as other engineering institutions. Of course, 3 years, 4 years back, if I remember right, at IMA, 95% of the students, they were from IITs. 95% of the students, they were from IITs. Yeah. So, of course, now the trend is slowly changing. IIMs now they are trying to balance it out in the sense for around 80 to 85% they take engineering students, and the remaining 15% probably they take from other arts and sciences streams. Okay. And many engineers, if you look at, they seem to be losing their interest in their engineering programs halfway through, because our education system is in such a way that by the time we complete our +2, and then when we think of our higher education, undergraduate higher education, many of us, we are not very clear, we are not very focused, and we get influenced by our parents, we get influenced by our neighbors, our peers, and so on. And that is why many students, they lose their interest in their engineering programs by the time they reach their, excuse me, 3rd year or so. Another major aspect is, normally MBA graduates, they get paid more than their engineering counterparts. The salary package which graduates are getting, okay, it's phenomenal. So probably that is also one of the reasons why many engineers, they want to enhance their managerial skills by joining MBA program. If you look at engineering, of course, with the due respect to all the engineering people, sometimes it happens like the engineering students or the engineering professionals, their career growth will get stagnated at one point of time. I've come across because we keep interacting with many HR managers across the industries. So what we have observed is, many times those who are having only engineering programs or engineering degrees, their growth has come to a stagnated level. They will not grow further in the corporate world. The reason being, they don't have the managerial skills. They will not be able to manage the people. They will not be able to manage the business. they will not be able to manage the company. So probably that is the reason why, even though if they are so brilliant enough, to certain extent, they can come up in the ladder in the corporate life, and then they cannot go beyond. I can tell you one thing, probably you can also do a small survey. Just look at the chief executive officers of 100 companies in India. Randomly, you pick up 100 companies and look at who is heading that particular company, who is heading those companies, okay? And what is their profile? If you look at, I'm damn sure 99% of the people, they'll be holding MBA degree. That is what I call it as a career growth. So once you complete your MBA program, you'll be getting phenomenal career growth. You can easily go up on the ladder. This is what I call it as fast track career growth is well assured when you hold your engineering plus MBA degree. Sometimes people also go for MBA degree because of the peer pressure. Peer pressure in the sense all your friends are doing MBA program and I am also joining MBA program. So that also happens at. Engineers are good in creating the products. They are excellent. That's why I told you I respect all the engineers. Because without engineers, infrastructure development will not happen in the. So my due respect to all the people. Okay, but sometimes or some of the people, they may have some constraints. They may be too good in creating products, but for pricing it and taking it to the market to making it commercialized, they need an MBA degree. Okay, and of course, looking at the competitive scenario we are going through right now, just an UG degree is not enough in the competitive world. Naturally, you need to enhance your qualification so that you can be competitive in the world. India is a country where people first become engineers and then figure out what they want to become next. Okay, so many times people will get into such a confusion. Okay, so these are all the reasons which come to my mind while talking about why should engineering students go for higher education, that too in management education. Okay, is it clear? Tajudin sir, am I clear? Can I proceed further?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah,
No problem. Yeah. Okay.
thank you, thank you. The second question, when to join? This is my individual opinion, my personal opinion. Okay. You better gain some 3 to 5 years of industry experience for an MBA degree. Okay, that's the reason behind why I'm preferring. When you do or when you possess some 3 to 5 years experience in the industry, and then if you move to MBA program, you can easily assimilate all the managerial concepts. Okay, it is going to be a better process for you because you have had some 3 to 5 years of experience in the industry. You know how the industry functions, and whatever you have learned in the 3 to 5 years, you can easily correlate when you move to do your MBA program. Okay, and that is the reason why many business schools, they give weightage to the students who are possessing industry. They are given weightage. Okay, and of course, while placements are taking place in these schools, the companies which are coming for placements, the recruiters, normally they do give preference to the students who possess experience before doing their MBA program. Okay, I can call it pre-MBA experience. So generally, preference will be given to the students who are called lateral students. Okay, or they can call it as lateral placements also. So lateral placements will happen for the experienced students when the placements are happening at the campus. There are many cons also. In my experience, I have found out many students, they tend to lose their interest for doing higher studies once they start earning, once they start making money, once they start tasting the money. Okay, because they have started earning, and once they have started earning, they will lose the interest of going for higher studies. So they may give up, which is dangerous. of the students, because of the gap, they may find it a bit difficult to cope with the learning demand at business schools. Because business schools, the learning environment will be completely different. The learning environment will be more demanding in nature. Okay. And since some of the students who want to take up their MBA program after 3 to 5 years of experience, they lose touch with their studies. So they find it difficult to cope with the learning demand when they are moving to MBA program with the 3 to 5 years of corporate experience. Sometimes it may also happen like the company in which you are working. The company may think that you have an excellent engineering brain, but you need to have an MBA degree too, so that you can come up in the corporate ladder, you can perform very well in the market. So if the company thinks so, they may also sponsor you for the higher education. And that is the reason why many business schools in India, leading business schools, including IIMs in India, they do have executive education program, which is for 1 year, which is just for 1 year, not 2 years. But normally MBA program, 2 years program. Okay. So they do have something called executive education program. So many companies, I have seen many companies sponsoring their employees to do executive education program, so that it's a win-win situation for the company as well as the employees. Okay, hope you got my point. And my sincere advice to all of you, if at all you want to do MBA program, never get into online or distance mode. Probably you can add a fancy degree after your name, Narayanan MBA. You can have a fancy degree, but it doesn't add any value at all. Even the recruiters normally recruiters, they never consider those who have done their MBA through part-time or distance mode. So my sincere advice, please stay away from doing your part-time or distance mode MBA program. It is not fair enough to add a fancy degree after my name. It has to make some changes or infuse some changes in me. That matters a lot. That you can get only through full-time mode program. You cannot get it in the part-time or distance mode. So please stay away from doing this, because there are n number of institutions which are offering part-time as well as distance mode. Never get into such a kind of program, because it is not going to add any value to you. So now you can make a decision. When do you want to join? Sometimes the people may think that, sir, I am badly in need of a job. My financial situation doesn't allow me to get into MBA immediately after my engineering. So I need to take. Most welcome. Go for a job. Okay, be there for 3 to 5 years, but don't give up your focus. Be focused. Then after 5 years, or after 3 years, or after 5 years, make some money, save some money, so that you need not trouble your parents. You can get into MBA program. Okay. Or some of the people may think that it's too early for them to get into the industry. They want to enhance their qualification. They want to enhance their skills. You are most welcome to do your MBA program immediately after your engineering degree. The choice is yours, but consult the people like us before taking any decision. Now, the third question, where to join? Okay. Some of the people in India, they look at Western countries for doing their MBA program. Of course, there are best business schools in Western countries, in US as well as UK. Okay, I can name a few like Harvard Business School, Knox Business School, Wharton Business School. They are the best in the world, I can call it. Okay? And generally in US, all the universities, they do offer 2 years program. If you go to UK, they offer only 1 year program. They are not offering 2 years program. They offer only 1 year program. And definitely it will be quite expensive. Quite expensive. Okay. Probably for 2 year degree program, roughly you need to spend around 75 lakhs to 1 crore, I can call it. Okay, so it will be quite expensive, but at the same time, you will get phenomenal global exposure. We cannot deny that fact. Okay, that institutions, they do give excellent global exposure to you. So definitely, while you come out of such institutions, all the corporate people, they'll be running after you to recruit. That is the kind of exposure normally they used to offer. So global employment, good employment opportunities across the globe. Wherever you go, you'll be well recognized with the degrees from uh, institutions like Harvard, Kellogg's, Wharton. But my sincere advice again, do a thorough check before opting for any institution in US or UK, or for that matter, any other country. Do a thorough search. People like us who are having some knowledge with reference to what is happening abroad. Never jump into any poor decision, because it's your time, it's your money, it's your energy, all you are putting it into that. If that be the case, it should be the best decision you take. It should be the best decision you take. So just for the fancy degrees, never get into any Me Too institutions abroad. Me Too in the sense, I can call it ordinary institutions. No differentiation, no uniqueness, nothing at all. They also offer MBA programs. Okay, they will show you all the carrot and they will try to pull you. Never get into such a kind of things. So please be little more careful while selecting your MBA program abroad. Okay, just if at all you want to add a fancy degree, MBA in USA, if you want to opt for that, never do that. I don't recommend that. Okay, so this is as far as what is happening at other countries. Okay, for moving to abroad, you need to have a very good score in GMAT, and apart from that, there are two tests which normally examine your English proficiency. One is a TOEFL, the another one IELTS. Whenever you are looking for an MBA degree from a particular university, please go through the selection criteria, because some of the universities, they may look for TOEFL, some of the universities, they may look for IELTS score. Okay, so it depends on the university's policies. So have a thorough check. Have a thorough check before opting for any of these examinations. So this is as far as abroad is concerned. Being a management educator, I can take pride to say that we are in no way inferior to any other business schools abroad, leave alone the top 5 like Kellogg's, Wharton. Okay, there is an institution called Indian School of Business, Hyderabad. They are almost equal to the leading institutions, MBA institutions in the world. Okay, of course, they have a tie-up with leading business schools, thereby drawing the faculty from those institutions to come and teach in Hyderabad. Okay, so there are very good institutions in the country itself. For an MBA program, this is my personal opinion. For an MBA program, you need not go abroad. You need not spend money, too much of money onto that. That is my opinion. You look at what is happening in India. Okay, there are different types of business schools in the country. Number one is the public institutions. Public institutions are the ones which are sponsored by the state government as well as. There are some institutions. Okay, like number one is the IIMs. Right, as on today, we have got 20 Indian Institute of Managements in the country. Probably it may go up, but we know Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, Lucknow, then subsequently Indore started, okay, Kozhikode, okay, now Trichy, and many more institutions that they have joined recently, okay. So the number stands at 20 in the year 2020. This may go up in the future. Apart from IIMs, okay, IITs as well as NITs, Earlier NITs were known as regional engineering colleges. Now they are known as National Institute of Technology. Okay. So IITs as well as NITs, they do offer MBA programs. Another important business school, I can call it Institute of Rural Management, Anand. It is in Gujarat, and IRMA, probably by this time you might have come across. Okay. Generally, all the agricultural engineering graduates as well as agriculture students. Okay. So students are from Tamil Nadu Agriculture University are students who have done their UG programs in agriculture and agriculture related allied specializations. Normally, they do prefer Institute of Rural Management, Anand, Gujarat. They have established themselves very well and completely supported by NDDB, National Dairy Development Board. Of course, Mr. Kurian was the brain behind starting this institution way back. Must be 30 to 40 years old institution. Excellent campus in Anand. Of course, I couldn't get through. I attended the interview after giving my entrance examination, but some or other I couldn't get through. Okay, but it's a fantastic institution, but there is only one constraint. One constraint in the sense, generally, when you look at the placements at IRMA, you can join only development sector like cooperatives, okay, dairy development boards, and so on, NGOs, okay, non-governmental organizations, and so on, social entrepreneurship, okay. Only you can only join development sector. You cannot join companies, commercial companies, for-profit companies. You cannot join. Normally, they don't encourage placements from all these companies at IRMA campus. Okay, so keep that in mind. Apart from that, there are central as well as state universities departments. We do have in Coimbatore, we do have Bharatiyar University. Okay, Bharatiyar University has its own department inside the campus. So this is what I mean: state and central universities departments. There are n number of private institutions too. The first category, I can call it as a stand-alone business schools. Standalone business schools like ours, we do have only one MBA program. But of course, there are standalone business schools which are offering something called PGDM, Postgraduate Diploma in Management. There's a slight difference between institutions like ours and institutions like this one, which are offering PGDM. Normally, in our institution, for example, at DJ Academy, we run a 2-year full-time MBA program, which is approved by All India Council for Technical Education and affiliated to Bharatiyar University. So approval, AICTE, affiliation, local university, okay, at the regional level. So this is what we do have. But this institutions which are offering only PGDM, they don't have any affiliation with the university. They get approval from AICTE and run the course. Okay, that is why the nomenclature differs. They have a nomenclature called PGDM. Okay, this is one type of institution. The another type of institution, under the university, there are different institutions. Okay, for example, engineering colleges, arts and science colleges, as well as standalone business schools like DJ. So even even in engineering institutions, you can find many engineering institutions that they do have MBA program. Arts and science colleges, they do have MBA programs. Similarly, like ours. So these are all affiliated to the regional level university as well as approved by All India Council for Technical Education. Apart from that, there are private universities in the country which are offering. The last point, you need to be little more careful. There are 100+ institutions in the country which are not approved by All India Council for Technical Education, not affiliated to any of the universities in the country, but still they run MBA programs, which is very, very risky. Never get into such a kind of institutions. If you look at AICTE website, they have listed all the institutions which are not approved by All India Council for Technical Education. So do a thorough groundwork, do a thorough basic work before opting for your higher education, because your career growth depends on the choice you make right now. If you get into any poor decision right now, you are 40 years going to be in trouble. And that is why I'm asking you, I'm requesting you to be little more vigilant while opting for an MBA program, while opting for the institution. Okay. Roughly, there are 4,000 plus business schools in the country. Imagine what kind of growth India has seen management education is. But all these institutions are not the best institutions. You need to do a thorough information search. Like, I'm moving on to the next question called what you should look for in a business school while you are opting for your MBA program. Number one, as I told you.
Sorry for interruption, Dr. Narayanan.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. I welcome my colleague, Dr. R. Viswanathan. I could see him in my laptop. I welcome him to join us for the benefit of our students and our faculty. He was my junior in TNAU. He was a professor of and head of the Department of Agriculture Process Engineering in Coimbatore. And I think he has retired recently by July or so. I welcome him for his active participation in our webinar. Welcome, Dr. Viswanathan. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Good morning, sir. Keep going, Dr. Narayanan.
Very good morning. Nice meeting you online.
Yeah.
It's my pleasure to meet all the stalwarts who taught me. Yeah.
Okay. Please go ahead.
Thank you, sir. So what you should look for while you are opting for a business school, while you are selecting a business school. Number one, look at their approval, whether the institution is approved by All India Council for Technical Education, number one. Number two, whether it is affiliated to any university. Okay, as I told you, PGDM schools, they need not be affiliated to any university. So in that case, just look for the approval from AICTE. Never get into any business school which is not approved by All India Council for Technical Education. Okay, there is a reason behind why I'm cautioning you. While you are moving on to, say, higher education further, because some of the people may aspire to become teachers like us. Okay, you're most welcome to get into teaching. But if at all you want to get into teaching, naturally you need to do your PhD. While doing your PhD or while enrolling yourself for PhD, you may get into trouble if you are from a non-recognized, non-approved institution. Okay, that's why I'm cautioning you. Number one. Number two, please go through the website of the institution thoroughly. Website of the institution thoroughly. Of course, some of the business schools may make tall claims on their websites. You need not believe it 100%, but there is something called mandatory disclosure. Mandatory disclosure is the one in which they're supposed to give all the details of their infrastructure, faculty availability, etc., etc. Okay, and this is an AICTE document. Okay, so no institution can make false claims in the mandatory disclosure. So if you look at any website of any institution, they will be having something called mandatory disclosure, in which they have given all the details which are submitted to AICTE. So they cannot goof it up. They cannot make tall claims or false claims. So go through the website completely, thoroughly. Okay. Number three, I suggest you visit the institution if possible. It is a must. You need to visit the institution to get to know a hands-on experience. Okay, you can even cross-check whatever they have claimed in their website, whether it is available or not. You can confirm only when you are making a personal visit to the institution. And while you are visiting to the institution, if possible, you please have an interaction with the director of the institution. I welcome this in my institution. I see all the students who are coming for admissions to our institution. I personally see them. I personally advise them, okay, what to be done, what not to be done. If possible, insist on an interaction with the director, number one. Number two, go to the faculty section. Go to the faculty section. Without any hesitation, you can go and put a word. I would like to meet some of the faculty. I'm looking for an MBA program from this institution. So you can have a word with the faculty. You can get to know their caliber. Okay. Number three, insist on having a discussion with the current students. The director may claim so many things. The faculty may claim so many things. I don't, okay? The faculty may claim so many things, but students will not tell lies, okay? So the current students will not tell lies. So randomly, you can pick up some of the students who are doing their MBA program at that particular institution and have a word with them. Probably they are the best ones who can give you the correct picture of it. And that is why I used to call my students as my brand ambassadors. Okay, they are my brand ambassadors. Okay, and number four, alumni. Look at the alumni profile. How many have passed out from this institution? Okay, and what kind of profile they do enjoy in the corporate world. Okay, even you can pick up some of the guys' phone numbers and you can give them a call. Randomly, you can give them a call and find out, sir, I'm willing to join your alma mater. Can you throw some light on the strengths and weaknesses of your alma mater? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't cost you much. Okay. Of course, at my institution, I keep everything open. You can talk to me, you can talk to my faculty, you can talk to my students, you can talk to my alumni. Okay. So this openness, this transparency, you need to expect in a business school. Look at the accreditation status of the institution you want to join. Okay. NAC, NBA, there are some international accreditations which are very popular in the world. Okay. So just find out whether this institution is accredited or whether they are on the way to get themselves accredited. Okay. So just to find out that status too. Okay. There are many business magazines which rank all the business schools in the country. Okay, like Business India, Business World, Business Today, Careers 360. So there are some magazines, some good business magazines which are ranking all the business schools in the country. So go through those rankings, find out your preferred institution, where does it fall? But again, don't go by this alone. Again, a word of caution from my side, because there is a reason behind why I'm cautioning you. Normally, we get the questionnaire from all the business magazines. We fill it up and then send it across. Okay. Say, for example, I do have 9 faculty with me, and 6 faculty have completed PhD. 7 is going to complete. The rest of the people, probably they may take another 2 years to complete their PhD. Okay. But while filling it up, I can say I have 9 faculty and all are PhDs. I can say, I don't say, I can say. Okay. And there is no cross-checking mechanism. Though they say they will do cross-checking randomly, but it doesn't happen. So normally all the business magazines, they go by what information is submitted by the business schools. Some of the institutions like ours, we are quite genuine and we give what is there. But many institutions, they escalate. Okay, they amplify, and then they get the rankings, nice rankings. And that's why I'm cautioning you, you can take this as one of the criteria, not the only one criteria. The next one is the industry institution linkage. It's very, very important for any institution, whether it is a business school or an engineering college or an arts and science college, it doesn't matter. But to what extent you are linked with the industry. So this is very, very important. Again, you can you can examine the industry institution linkage of the institution which you prefer. I mean, as I indicated to you earlier, my institution for that matter, we are supported by or promoted by Lakshmi Machine Works. Okay, so I need not go around for any industry institution linkage because they are the promoters themselves, they are running a 6,000 to 7,000 crores company. Okay, so this matters a lot when you are doing your MBA program. Okay, I request you to go through my own website to understand what kind of programs we do take up. Faculty qualification and experience, I have already indicated, have a thorough check on that front too. Okay, because faculty, especially B school faculty, they need to have both industry as well as mere academic experience is not enough. Is not enough for teaching MBA students. When everything is well taken care of, whatever I have pointed out, when everything is well taken care of, the companies will be running after the business schools, their students. Okay, and ultimately you look at the fee structure. Intentionally, I have given it as the last point because many times this comes first for the students. They look at the fee structure and then they jump into. Never do that. Never do that. There is a difference between Lifebuoy and Dow. Lifebuoy's quality is different, Dow's quality is different. And that is why Dow is priced like that, Lifebuoy is priced like that. Just because the price is lower, you should not get into low priced product. It doesn't work out in your favor. Okay, so look at all these aspects and then find out the fee structure. Then you can analyze whether it is really giving you a value for money. This is what I do spend and this is what I do get. Whether there is any match or mismatch. I'm giving more, I'm getting less. Never go to that. Never go to that. Okay, so look at the value for money and then decide. And of course, this I have already touched upon. There's no much difference between MBA and PGDM. MBA is a very glamour degree, I can call it. Many students, they do look for MBA rather than PGDM. As long as the industry is accepting you, it doesn't matter whether you are doing MBA or PGDM. Okay. There are many good institutions which are offering PGDM and it is considered to be most valuable degree by the industry. So when the industry accepts you, it doesn't matter whether you are possessing MBA or PGDM, it doesn't matter. Like how to prepare for. So at the national level, AICTE has approved some of the entrance examinations. Entrance examinations that they have. You can appear for any one to get into business school. The first is the CAT. In general, all the IIMs, they do look for CAT score. And then you will have GD and personal interview. Some of the leading private institutions also take the students through CAT. Say, for example, my alma mater, Bharatdasan Institute of Management, they do look for a CAT score. Okay, right now we are not looking for a CAT score. Probably 2 years or 3 years down the line, DJ will take people only from the CAT score. Okay. I have also indicated the website. Okay. Next, AICTE approved entrance examination is All India Management Association's Management Aptitude Test. We call it happens 4 times in a year: September, December, February, and May. Okay, 4 times in a year. So you can appear for any of the examinations. Third one is AICTE. Some 3 or 4 years back, they have introduced something called CMAT. Okay, this is also well accepted. Okay. A fourth one is the XLRI, Xavier Labor Research Institute, Jamshedpur. Now it is not as only XLRI, not Xavier Labor Research Institute. So XLRIs, they do have a examination called SAT, Xavier Aptitude Test, okay, which is also well recognized, well accepted. And number 5, there is something called Association of Indian Management Schools, AIMS. They organize a test called AIMS Test for Management Admissions. We call it ATMA. Okay, so that is also well recognized. You can write any of these examinations, any one of these examinations for getting admissions into a program. Okay, national level. At the state level, Tamil Nadu government conducts an examination called Tamil Nadu Common Entrance Test and set, okay, which is exclusively for PG programs like ME, MTech, MBA, MCA, and so on. Okay, so you can appear for that, and then you can sit through the counseling. Okay, now it has become online counseling. Earlier, it used to happen at Government College of Technology, Coimbatore. Now it is happening online. Okay, so for 2020 admissions, because of Corona, the admission is getting delayed. For 2020 admissions, the counseling will take place during the 3rd week of October, based on the score you have obtained in TANSET, Tamil Nadu Common Entrance Test Examinations. Okay. And suppose if you feel like, I'm talking about the final year students who are passing out this year. Okay. Suppose if you feel like, sir, I have not written any of the examinations, even I have not written TANSET, but I'm looking for joining MBA program in the current year 2020 itself. If you feel so, there is a possibility. There's a possibility. There is an association called Association for Self-Financing Arts, Science and Management. Okay, this association is authorized by Tamil Nadu government to conduct common entrance test. This is going to happen. So you can appear for this and you can seek admissions in any of the business schools in Tamil Nadu. Okay, so as far as CAT is concerned, this is for admission 2021, not for admissions 2020. So for CAT, the last date I have given here, September 16th is the last date for registration. And again, October 28th, 2020, you can download your admit card, and 29th November, you need to sit for the. This is for admissions 2021 in all the IIMs. Okay, so they start well ahead of them. But again, those who are aspiring for IIMs, those who want to sit for CAT examination, going by my own experience, you need to have a solid 6 months preparation. With much focus, if you prepare for solid 6 months, you can easily crack common admission test. This is the notification I told you for those who are seeking admissions in 2020 itself. This association is conducting examination. You can apply for, if you need further details, you can approach our institution. The examination will take place by 10th October 2020. Results will be published on 12th October 2020, with which you can seek admissions in any Tamil Nadu B schools. Okay, that's all I do have from myself. Now it's open for any questions, for any clarifications.
Dr. Narayanan, I heard about some manage from Hyderabad. Manage.
Sorry, sir?
Manage from Hyderabad.
Okay, business school?
Yeah, something like that. You can just clarify.
Okay. Sir, I'm not very sure about it. I need to check. Okay. I have also come across, but again, I haven't gone in depth. Yeah.
So for the benefit of our students,
yeah,
I want to say something. My own batchmate, engineer V. Shanmugam, he was the Department of Agriculture Engineering of Government of Tamil Nadu for some time. Then he served in HMD, as Dr. Narayanan rightly pointed out. He served in the as industry for some 15 years. Then he did his MBA in IIM Ahmedabad. Now he's an entrepreneur in Salem.
Great.
Yeah, entrepreneur. That is, he's a John Deere tractor dealer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
Then he's a dealer for combine harvesters. Standard company like that. So now he's having branches at Atur or Kalakurji, my hometown, and Mungilthurai, like that. All right,
Great,
like
sir.
that. Then
Great,
one more person I want to point out to the benefit of our participants. One Amulur Pavanathan.
Amalur Pavanathan. Yeah.
He is
NABARD.
Yeah. So he was some 3 or 4 years junior to me. He may be near to Viswanathan Group, something like that. I am not very sure of it. Then he's number 2. He's the deputy general manager or something in the number 2 in NABARD.
Deputy managing director, sir.
Yeah. Sorry.
DMD. Yeah.
So then I think now he's
he's in Coimbatore, sir.
Coimbatore. Yeah.
He's in Coimbatore. Yeah.
Even once he came to our Sakti Engineering College, Sakti Institute of Engineering Technology for some function or something. He came and brief our students like that. So many. So that BSc Agri MBA or BE Agri MBA is a good combination. Even agriculture side also we have so many people with the basic degree in agriculture and allied sciences and MBA like that.
Yes, sir. So just adding to your point, from my own batch, one Mr. Satyamurthy, he did his MBA from IRMA, and right now he is managing all the African countries at a company called Olam, OLAM, Olam International. So Satyamurthy, you must be knowing. Okay.
Yeah.
So he is there. Another gentleman called Ramesh Krishnamurthy. He did his MBA from Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad. Till May 2020, he was the Director of Finance with Hindustan Unilever in Bangalore. He used to visit our institution quite often. Now, recently, he has taken over as the Chief Executive Officer of a pharmaceutical company called VV Med, our institution. So, company. So, pharmaceutical company. Other he has become the CEO. Day before yesterday, I have come across a gentleman called Radha Krishnan Pandian. He passed out in 1995, BA Agriculture, passed out in 1995, and subsequently he did his MBA program from my alma mater, Bharadasan Institute of Management. And right now he is the country head for Wipro Consumer and Lighting, Wipro Consumer Products and Lighting in Sri Lanka. So I spoke to him yesterday night by 10:30. Okay, so there are many alumni who have done their MBA program and then gone up in the ladder of corporate world. Sir, even for that matter, Amul's managing director, Mr. Sodhi, Sodhi. Mr. Sodhi is an agricultural engineering graduate and an MBA.
Oh, I see. Very good. Very good.
RS Sodhi. Sir, I am open to any questions from the audience. A couple of hands went up, if I'm right.
Students, please. Sir is waiting for your questions.
Sir?
Yes, Roshni. Please unmute and ask your question.
All right. So the students.
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah,
you are audible.
Yes, please. Yeah.
Sir, is there any specific MBA courses after completing agriculture engineering, sir?
Okay, that's a good question, which I have not covered in my presentation. See, when you go to do your MBA program, normally first year is common. You'll be taught all the fundamentals in basic subjects like marketing, finance, HR, accounting, okay, systems, and so on. So you'll be taught the basics, the fundamentals in the first 2 semesters, if it is a semester basis, or in the first 3 trimesters, if it is a trimester basis. Okay, so first year will be common for all of you. Then only while you are moving on to the second year, okay, or third semester, you need to opt for something called specialization. Okay, something called a specialization. So normally, conventionally, all the institutions, they do offer specializations in marketing, finance, human resource management, okay, production or operations management, and then systems. These are the 5 conventional electives which all the business schools do offer. But of late, people have started, or the institutions have started offering non-conventional electives. Okay, like for example, agri-business management. Okay, of course, IIM Ahmedabad is offering PG diploma in agri-business management, PGD ABM they call it. It's a 2 years program exclusively for people like us. Okay, people like us. But the only one thing is, if you do such a kind of program, PGD, ABM, or agri-business management, placements will happen only with agriculture-based companies. Okay, agriculture-based companies. So my suggestion, you just keep it open. Say, for example, yesterday when I spoke to Radhakrishnan Pandian, he said he did it in marketing from Bharathasan Institute of Management. Okay, and within the shortest span of time, he rose to the level of the country head for the entire Sri Lanka. Okay, he is taking care of Wipro consumer care and lighting business. Okay, so this is possible only when you are not confining yourself. So my sincere suggestion, my sincere advice to my agricultural engineering brothers and sisters, please keep your options open till you move on to your second semester. Okay, probably by the mid of second semester, you analyze your own strengths, your own weaknesses, or weaknesses may be negative terminology, areas for improvement. Identify your strengths, identify your areas of weaknesses, and then consult with the people from the industry, consult with the people like us, and then come to a conclusion on your specialization or electives. Hope I have answered your question, Roshini.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Welcome.
Thank you, sir.
Dr.
Hello, sir.
Vishwanath, yes, please. Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
This is Divya from final year agriculture engineering.
Yes,
So,
Divya.
so it's so glad to have such a seminar during this period, because we people are very much worried about what we are going to do next. So it's been very much useful. So
Okay.
what's my question is,
Yeah.
so as you told that we need to wait for the first semester to be done so that we can choose our specialization courses. So
Yes.
many people, after completing BE courses, they are opt to go for banking sector like jobs.
Yeah.
So for that area and all, what type of specialization should we have to choose? So I need some
Okay.
suggestion for that, sir.
Okay. Okay. Divya, you seem to be interested in banking sector. Am I right?
Yeah, sir.
Okay. Okay. That's good enough for me. Okay. See, City Union Bank, for that matter, they are the constant recruiters at our institution. Okay. If you look at my website, you might get to know. And normally, what do they look for? They look for marketing and finance as a specialization. So generally, if you look at, we call it BFSI sector, banking and financial services insurance, BFSI. Okay, so BFSI sector, the companies normally look for MBA in marketing as well as finance. Okay, finance you need to have because you want to get into banking industry. Why marketing? See, nowadays, if you look at any bank for that matter, including the public sector undertakings, okay, all the people, including the clerical staffs, they are supposed to sell current account, savings account, as well as fixed deposits. Okay, and that is why now the banks have started looking at the marketing skills also. Okay, so those who have done their MBA in marketing and finance, they are the most sought after by the banking industry, BFSI sector. Okay, of course, in addition to whatever they do learn in marketing and finance specialization, in our institution, we do offer principles of banking as an add-on course, 30 hours add-on course, so that people will get to know more about the banking industry, in addition to whatever being covered in the syllabus, so that people will be well equipped when recruiters like City Union Bank are visiting our institution. Okay, so this is what is needed, Divya. Hope I have addressed your question. The other thing, you need not worry about all this pandemic and other things. Okay, look at my slide. The top line says differentiate or die. Okay, when you differentiate yourselves with some uniqueness or other, you will be well absorbed by the industry. You will not be affected by any pandemic situation for that matter. Even now, amidst this situation, pandemic situation, placements are happening in some of the sectors. Can you believe it? Placements are happening in some of the sectors, but they are very choosy. They look for the people who possess the required skills, who can differentiate themselves, who have some uniqueness in them. They are the ones who are getting recruited. Okay, so those who are able to differentiate themselves, they need not worry about the economy. They need not worry about any pandemic situation. Companies will be running after them. Divya, hope you got my point.
Yeah, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir.
Welcome, Divya. All the best.
Good morning, sir.
Yeah, good morning.
I am also doing the final year engineering, sir.
Your good name, Bhaiya?
Balaji, sir.
Balaji. Yes, Balaji.
So you were saying that about agriculture, agribusiness management MBA.
Yeah.
There are only very less number of colleges in South India.
Yeah.
Also, our degree might not be valid because we are not having the ICAR accreditation.
Okay.
To join in the government institution for doing the MBA.
Is it so?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay.
So other than agribusiness management, what other MBA course can we study?
Okay. See, now you can keep all the options open, Balaji. Okay. Just because you have done your agricultural engineering or agriculture degree, you need to do only agribusiness management. No, it need not be so. It need not be so. Even after doing your general MBA program, you can get into companies like ITC. ITC for that matter, okay, basically they are into commodities and other things. So ITC looks for students who have done their agri or agri engineering plus MBA program. Okay, so in that way, you can keep all the options open. Okay, and many companies, corporate people, they are getting into agriculture. They are getting into agriculture. So if at all you want to serve or you want to be in agriculture sector, still you are most welcome after doing your common MBA program with marketing or finance specialization, and then you can get into agri sector. You are most welcome to do that.
So my doubt is that will not they ask after doing BE agriculture, why are you doing this MBA course? Will not they ask in the interview?
Absolutely nothing. As long as you are clear. As long as you are clear. Okay, take my case for that matter. I did my agricultural engineering. I worked for some years, for some 3 years, worked for Jain irrigation systems and other things. Some or other, I couldn't find the best offers in the industry. So I moved to, in fact, I sat for only 2 entrance examinations, IRMA, as I told you, Institute of Rural Management, Anand, and BIM. I got through in both the examinations, entrance examinations. I went for the interview. Some or other I couldn't get through in IRMA, but I could get through in BIM. At BIM, I did my MBA in marketing, purely marketing. Okay, and just because I have done my agricultural engineering, I wanted to focus on agro sector companies. And that is why I joined a company called Mac Industries, which is a part of Speaker Group. Speaker, a group called, which is into fertilizers and other businesses. I was there for some time. Then subsequently, I joined Maxworth Orchards India Limited. And since I had a passion towards teaching, I got into academics. Okay, so it doesn't matter which MBA program you do. Ultimately, it is your choice. Even after doing your common MBA program, do you want to get into agri-based sector or other sectors? That option is yours. Hope you are getting me, Balaji.
Yes,
So
sir. Yes, sir.
nobody will ask you a question like, after doing your agricultural engineering, why did you opt for a common MBA program? No, they will never ask you that question.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Balaji, all the best.
Sir, I have another question, sir.
Yeah, you are Akshaya?
Sir, if you, yes, sir.
Yeah, please.
Sir, if you want to get into government sectors,
Yeah,
is MBA helpful?
definitely.
And how it is helpful when we get into government sectors, sir?
Definitely. I can tell you only one example. Okay. A chemical engineer from Anna University, and subsequently he did his MBA program with me, Mr. T. Natarajan. He is he is from Tiruvannamalai. Okay, T. Natarajan. He specialized in finance, and subsequently he was working for a company called IFCI in Delhi. And when he was with the IFCA, he appeared for civil service examinations. He got through, and he served for Gujarat government for a very, very longer time. And very recently, he has been deputed to World Bank. Deputed to World Bank. Okay, on a 3-year term. So it's up to you to prove yourself, definitely. So whether it is the government sector or the non-government sector or the private sector, your degree doesn't matter, but the knowledge you possess, that matters a lot. That matters a lot. Okay, in fact, many MBAs, they are able to do well in civil services examination. I'm given to understand. And when you are through in the civil service examinations, there are all possibilities. You can become the even this gentleman, my own classmate, Mr. Natarajan. He was the managing director of Gujarat Petroleum Corporation, GPCL, which is a state-run PSU, state public sector undertaking. Even you can become the managing director of a state-run companies, state-run public sector undertakings, or central-run public sector undertakings. Okay, so definitely you can shine well even in government sector if you possess MBA. Absolutely, ma. Ultimately, what is management all about? Managing the people and managing the business. Okay, and this is what is expected in any position for that matter. In any job, what do they expect from you? You need to manage the people, you need to manage the business. Ultimately, you need to bring the revenue to the organization or the government. Very simple. That's what you get in an MBA degree. Okay, so it doesn't matter whether it is government or non-government or private sector. It doesn't matter. You can excel once you possess your MBA degree. And that is why I told you, mere MBA degree doesn't help you. A full-time MBA degree in a good institution will help you. So I can give it in quotes. Okay, a full-time MBA degree in a good business school will help you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Welcome, welcome. Good number of questions. I like it. And of course, this is my email ID, official email ID, director@djacademy.ac.in. And I have given my mobile number too. Okay. And I'll be more than happy to help you out in terms of your higher education, in terms of your professional career. Okay. So you're most welcome to consult me at any given point of time. I'm open for counseling, because generally I do I do believe in one thing. Okay, whatever little you know, you need to transfer to others. You need to transfer to others, and that is exactly what is taught to me by professors like Dr. Tajuddin and Mr. Vishwanathan, Dr. Vishwanathan. Okay, so I am ready to share whatever little I do know with reference to management education. Okay, so my sincere advice, before getting into any business school, please have a word with people like me. Okay, never get into poor choice, because it is likely to spoil your career, the whole career, which you should not have. Okay, so if there is no other question, once again I thank my professor Dr. Tajuddin, my good friend Mr. Ranish, for having given me this opportunity to talk to my agricultural engineering brothers and sisters, and it's my pleasure to come back to you again for anything and everything. I wish you very, very all the best, and God bless you. Wherever you go, you keep this in your mind: differentiate or die. If you are not able to differentiate yourselves, your days are numbered, your days are counted. Please keep that in mind and start establishing yourself. I wish you all the best. God bless you.